good afternoon, good whatever time it is that you are watching this. Random Mother's Day live. Hopefully you guys don't mind. The weather's a little crappy here. I don't know if you can tell that it's rainy and gross and whatnot. Hopefully the service is okay. You guys can hear me, see me, whatever. I want to talk to you guys about the newest scam, and I call it the scam that's hitting the seniors because Medicare is always kind of gotten this bad rap, depending on who you're dealing with when it comes to Medicare and stuff like that. But President Trump has just done something with prescription drugs that I think is very important for a lot of people to hear about. So we're going to talk about that. First off, I don't know if I already said it, but happy Mother's Day to all the women out there, the ladies out there raising kids, who have raised kids, who are pregnant, because I mean, that still counts. I remember my first Mother's Day when I was pregnant was super exciting. Fellas, wait your turn. You're coming up soon in June, right? Is June or July Father's Day? I never remember, but your day is coming. Today, it's all about the ladies. So happy Mother's Day, ladies. Went to breakfast this morning. Just gonna give you some random stuff before we jump into everything so people can show up here. But my husband and daughter took me to brunch this morning at my favorite place, Crackings in Destin, Florida. And we had a mimosa or two and some really tasty food. Super excited. My mother's coming over later. My daughter is cooking dinner for my mother and I tonight. She is vacuuming the house right now while I'm here with y'all. And my husband is washing the dishes. So I was just like, I'm going to go do a quick little random live stream with YouTube while you guys clean the house for me. It's a very exciting day. I love it. Of course, it would be better if it wasn't raining. I know it seems like out of all the days to rain, really Mother's Day, when the ladies are wearing the heels and the dresses and doing their hair and their makeup and everything else. And then the weather says, ha, kind of screw you. That part sucks. But anyway, let's just jump into this stuff. I'm going to be as transparent as humanly possible. 99.99% of the time, that's how we roll over here on Squirrel Tribe, is as transparent as humanly possible. And I tried to record this video for you guys. Like, I put up the camera, I set everything up, and I was like, let me just record a short little Medicare video for you guys, because what Trump has done is, I mean, it's going to make a massive difference for a lot of people. Some good, some bad. We'll wait and see what happens here. But I tried to record a video, and my husband sends me a text message. He goes, stop sounding like a YouTuber. And I was like, ew, I don't want to sound like a YouTuber, because I didn't know how to start the video. I don't know why my brain just does not work some days, and I get all anxiety riddled and all up in my head and stuff, and I forget how to do anything in life. So I was like, you know what? The easiest way for me to do this, we're just going to go live. And we're going to talk to the people, because it makes life easier for me. And hopefully it's good for y'all. This way it gives you a chance to also have conversations in the live chat with people. I know, especially over on Squirrel Tribe 2.0, which is more of my personal family channel. For those of you who haven't been there, just FYI, it's very personal related over there. I know live chats have always been one of the most important things for the community to kind of be together and talk and get to know each other and stuff like that. So I think we haven't done a live over here on the main channel in, I feel like it's been a little bit. I'm not even gonna lie. I feel like it's been a little bit since we've done a live over here. So today is that day. So let's just jump into everything. And you may know all of this already. And we are going to, first off, get rid of this person because I don't have time for morons on the live chat today. What we are going to do is talk about the Medicare issues that are going on right now. Now, I've already talked to you guys about this before. There's been a couple of videos where I've mentioned what was going on with the Department of Justice and Medicare and the suing of numerous brokers and whatnots, but I'm going to give you just the world's smallest condensed version of it so that you can have a little bit more information before we jump into the next part, right? So this is, I asked Grok, because I'm like, listen, I need you to give me like the most recent development with what's going on with the DOJ and the suing of all these different people. And so this is a very small condensed version. It says, the most recent developments in the U.S. Department of Justice, the DOJ lawsuit against Aetna and others involves a complaint, which we talked about, that was filed on May 1st, 2025 under the False Claims Act. We talked about it right when it happened, because that was, I mean, it was flaming breaking news, like hot off the press, right? The DOJ has accused Aetna Inc., Elevance Health Inc., and which is formerly Anthem, and then Humana Inc., and 3 insurance broker organizations, eHealth Inc., GoHealth Inc., and SelectQuote Inc., of engaging in a kickback scheme from 2016 to at least 2021, all right? The allegations claim these insurers paid hundreds of millions of dollars in illegal kickbacks to brokers to steer Medicare Advantage, which is MA for sure. We're going to call it MA as often as possible just to shorten up the words here. Steer Medicare Advantage MA enrollees into their plans. The complaint further alleges that Aetna and Humana conspired with brokers to discriminate against Medicare beneficiaries with disabilities who they perceived to be less profitable by threatening to withhold the kickbacks to reduce their enrollment. The brokers reportedly incentivized agents to prioritize these insurers' plans, sometimes refusing to sell plans from insurers not offering sufficient kickbacks. All defendants deny the allegations, of course, because I mean, they'd be real stupid if they're like, yeah, you're right, you caught us, whatever. But all the defendants are denying the allegations, and they plan to defend themselves vigorously, right? The case, which has been captioned the United States XREL, I don't even know what XREL means, but Shea VE Health, blah, 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 is being handled by the DOJ's Civil Division and the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Massachusetts and all that other crap, right? So that's what's going on. The Department of Justice has been looking at this for years. There was a whistleblower in 2021 who came forward and was like, listen, I need you to see what's happening with Medicare. The prices of everything are going through the roof. The different insurance agencies that aren't signing up people because they perceive them to be disability. They perceive this, they perceive that, or they're not getting the kickback that they want, whatever else. It's getting a little aggressive and out of hand, right? As somebody who was in sales for a very, very long time, I can tell you right now that there are plenty of companies out there who only want to scratch your back if you scratch their back. Like, oh yeah, no, I'd love to, let you sell my product, but I need you to pay me to sell my product, or vice versa. It gets real skeezy, schemy when it comes to marketing a lot of times, when it comes to money, because we've already talked about this numerous times, profit over people. It is no different in healthcare, unfortunately. You want it to be, but unfortunately it's not. Like, I would see all these things that say, like my husband and daughter and I, when we moved to Florida, we had to change our health insurance because what we had, a lot of places here didn't take it. Same thing with our dental insurance, and trying to find places that would take people, they're like, oh, we're not accepting new patients. And it's like, well, are you not accepting new patients, or you're not accepting new patients under the healthcare plan we have because you're not getting the kickback that you want? Because my neighbor over here also just moved, different health plan, they got in no problem. Is somebody there basically lining your pockets in order to let them in the door? I didn't have Humana, I didn't have Aetna, I didn't have any of these other ones. I had, what the crap did I have? I don't even know what I had. Blue Cross, Blue Shield, Florida, whatever. And obviously that was not the back scratching insurance agency out there, right? So there's been a lot of people who have had issues with doctors' offices, with their insurance in general, getting added on, getting approved, getting insurance to pay out. My neighbor actually has been diagnosed with diabetes, one that needs insulin. And the insurance company is like, hold on, let me see if we're going to approve you getting insulin. I'm sorry, what? Like, can't you die if you don't get insulin when you have like severe diabetes? Isn't insulin basically how you are able to continue living? And the insurance company's going, I don't know if you're like, are you like close to death sick? Because then maybe we'll let you have it. But until then, we're going to hold back. That to me is the most skeezy thing under the sun, right? Yet other people who have nothing wrong with them can get all kinds of stuff just depending on who they have as their healthcare provider or who their doctor is or whatever else. Absolutely crazy. But anyway, so I asked this. Hi, Marvin. I asked this whole question. I was like, listen, since the DOJ has come out with this lawsuit against these insurance companies and brokers and everything, have they lost any money? Like, I was curious, has Humana had like a massive downfall in their stocks or in their profits or anything else? And now it's only been since May 1st. Today is May 11th. It's not like it's been forever and a day, but generally speaking, like especially with like Tesla and all these other things happen like this, like immediately and overnight. So after 11 days of the DOJ announcing they're suing all these people, you would think there would be some sort of negative impact, right? So I was like, hey, has Humana or Aetna had any financial downfall since the DOJ announced the case? Because I was curious, right? And it says here, Since the DOJ announced a lawsuit against Humana, Aetna, and others on May 1st, there is no definitive evidence of a significant financial downfall for either Humana or Aetna based on available information. However, and this is where it got interesting to me, it said, here are key points regarding their financial performance and market reactions in the period following the announcement. Listen, in 2023, y'all might not know this. Now, they are talking about up to 2021 is when they were saying that all these companies are doing kickbacks. So in theory, supposedly, it could have gone much farther. But listen to this. In 2023, Humana reported a 12% increase in net income to $3.3 billion, reflecting robust financial health prior to the lawsuit. While the lawsuit poses potential risks, no immediate financial collapse has been reported, which again, very interesting to me that after all of everything that's going on, nothing negative is happening to the money for these companies. And it's because, and you have to understand, and we've talked about this numerous times, the healthcare industry, the doctor's offices and all of them, they all kind of work together. Everything is hand in hand. It's all about, again, it's always a you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours kind of situation, right? So then I asked Aetna, what about Aetna, which used to be CVS Health, right? And it says Aetna, which is a subsidiary of CVS Health, reported strong financial performance in Q1 2025, okay? That's this year, first quarter of 2025, with adjusted operating income of nearly $2 billion. Listen, this is where it gets very interesting. Up 173% from $732 million in Q1 2024 and net income of approximately $1.8 billion, which is a 60% increase from $1.1 billion in Q1 2024. That to me is absolutely crazy. It's not like we had that many more people who suddenly got sick last year, because last year was not the year where everybody's getting sick. You know what I'm talking about? That was the years prior too, right? So when the DOJ is looking up until 2021, I'm like, y'all might want to be looking at Aetna, CVS, whatever, in 2023, 2024 as well, because a 173% increase in operating income is absolutely ridiculous. To me, that sounds like somebody is sending people their way because, again, scratch my back, I scratch yours, right? And then it says here, the lawsuit has introduced uncertainty with potential for settlements or penalties under the False Claims Act, which could be material, meaning United Healthcare's got a $2.7 billion settlement in 2020 for Medicare Advantage related claims. However, both companies' size and diversified portfolios make immediate financial collapse unlikely, blah, 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 because they do have their hands in so many little bitty, itty bitty things that even if the DOJ goes, listen, we can prove without a doubt that y'all were being skeezy, schemy, and finding ways to get as much money as humanly possible with these people you're signing up for, Medicare Advantage, MA, I think that's Part C, right, under Medicare, that even if that is the case and they can prove it, these people, they have, I want to call it fluff accounts, like those accounts that are there for, oops, I messed up, let's quiet it down, let's shush money, hush money, whatever, right? So they're going to have plenty. Like it says here in 2020, United Healthcare had a $2.7 billion settlement because of their Medicare Advantage claims. $2.7 billion for settlement money. That is absolutely ridiculous. What's crazy to me, hold on. What's crazy to me is how many people, like my friend who needs the insulin, right? So it's for her husband. She says, we called and talked to the doctor, the pharmacist and everything, and they're not approving it. So I'm like, well, can I just pay cash without going through my insurance? And they're like, no, you can't because you have insurance. That's still crazy to me. You know why? Because through insurance, they're going to get so much more money than if they were to just pay them cash. Absolutely ridiculous. So then, excuse me, Part A, Part B, Part C, Part D. That's everything that's going on, right? You have for Medicare. So you have your Part A, which most of you are going to know if you're 63, 64 and older, you're going to know. Part A is for your hospital insurance. Part B for your medical insurance. Part C is the Medicare Advantage, which is the one that's right now kind of under the microscope because of the way these brokers and these health agencies have been dealing with it, right? And then you have your Part D, the prescription drug coverage. Now, that's why we're talking about this. The whole reason I went through all of this is to get you guys to the D, to Part D with the prescriptions because of what is going on with Donald Trump right now. Now, I will say, for those of you who are curious, I will say, let me see if I can get this to pull up correctly so you guys can see this. This will be I think I fixed this so it's right side up, but I've talked to you guys about this before, that I'm partnered with Chapter Medicare. I don't know if you guys have paid attention or seen them yet. They are free to call. If you guys want to give these guys a call, 513-898-3528, or you can go online. Absolutely 100% free. These people are not these skeezy brokers that are out there trying to sign you up for all kinds of shit you don't need that'll cost you a ton of money just so they can pocket it, right? Chapter is going to go through and look at whatever you have, A, B, C, D, whatever, and say, hey, that's great. Everything you have is amazing. Change nothing. This is perfect. Or they're going to go, hey, listen, maybe part A could have a little tweak. Maybe D could have a little tweak. Maybe you don't need C, or you do need C, whatever. Completely free. They are just there to help you guys figure out what is absolute best for you in the long run. Especially like, let's say you've moved, or you have, you've just gotten off your company's insurance. Now you're getting on your own Medicare, all these different things. They'll help you figure out what is best for you, for what you need most from your medical insurance, right? They're absolutely amazing. And like I said, they are free. The whole reason this place started was because the guys that started it, they were tired of seeing their parents getting basically bent over with the cost of their Medicare and getting taken advantage of, which is, again, why the DOJ is suing people right now, because they're taking advantage of so many seniors. It's like the biggest scam out there, because a lot of people don't realize what the differences are between A, B, C, and D. So I'm young. I'm not in it yet. Not young. I'm 43, but I'm not in it yet. But I'm trying to figure out how it all works before I get there. My mother has Medicare. My mother-in-law has Medicare. Numerous people I know have Medicare. So when I see a company like Chapter, who is legitimately not you don't pay a fee, it's absolutely free. They're not these skeezy people like the DOJ are going after. They are literally there to help you make the best choice possible. It makes me want to learn more and understand what I will be getting into once I hit that age range, right? So either way, make sure you guys, when it's all said and done, it's free. It takes all of 30 seconds just to call and see if you're in the right plan or if something better is coming out. And the reason I mention it is because of what is happening with Part D on Medicare because of President Trump. Because of President Trump, I don't want to use the words in spite of. I think because of is the correct words here. But when President Trump was in office the first term, he tried everything under the sun to get the prescription drugs at a much better price for people, right? Because there's no reason why we, the United States of America, should be paying 15 times more for prescription drugs than other countries are. It makes absolutely no sense. We're supposed to be the Mac daddies on the globe, right? We're supposed to be the top everything. We're supposed to be the ones who take the best care of our citizens, who have the best economy, all these other things. And yet when it comes to prescription drugs, people are, going broke on trying to just get the medicines that they need. So this just came out and it says Trump's drug price plan expected to push drug makers to charge same as other countries. For a lot of people, they don't understand that that is a huge, massive, positive thing, right? It says the president is expected to sign an executive order early next week, meaning coming up here on today's the 11th, so 12th, sometime this week, that will instruct Medicare to adopt a most favored nation pricing model for certain drugs. Now you hear the phrasing of these things and you think to yourself, what does that even mean, right? But according to this, President Trump will announce a plan to lower U.S. prescription drug costs by tying the amount the government pays for some medications to prices paid abroad. According to some administrative officials that didn't give their names, but they are in the Trump administration and they gave the leaked information, whatever. Trump is expected to sign an executive order early next week that will instruct federal health officials to adopt a most favored nation pricing model for certain drugs covered by Medicare, meaning the U.S. would pay no more than the lowest prices paid by other wealthy countries. This is according to those officials let's see, it says here, prescription drug prices in the United States are notoriously higher than in other countries, up to 10 times more than in other nations of similar size and wealth. This is according to Rand Corporation, which is a public policy think tank. And it says Trump initially tried to implement this policy in 2020 as part of a broader effort by his administration to cut U.S. drug costs, but surprisingly not. It was halted by a federal judge following a lawsuit from the drug industry. That is what has always killed me. The drug industry was like, no, you can't have it for cheaper, because you know why? Because then they don't get their kickbacks. They don't get their money. Same thing that happened over the last few years with C-19, right? The amount of profit that Pfizer and Moderna and all these other ones were making was astronomical. The profit was through the flipping roof. And it has been that way for a lot of prescription drug companies or drug companies in general for the very longest time, because EpiPens, I saw somebody said EpiPen. My husband has a severe allergy to certain things. He has been admitted to the hospital twice, should have gone 3 times, but I wasn't there with him to make his ass get in the ambulance and go. So whatever, boys. He's had to go twice, and it's for anaphylactic shock because there was no EpiPen on hand. Because you know why? EpiPens with insurance were $600 effing dollars, and they give them to you and they have a 6-month shelf life. How many people can afford $1,200 for just 2 EpiPens a year? Like, that is absolutely ridiculous. Why should the drugs that will literally save your life cost you so much that it will deteriorate your life? Cancer medicines, cancer treatment, all these things, so incredibly expensive. And it's not like it costs that much to make it, but they turn around and they make you pay that much because, again, it lines their pockets and whatever else. I have a very big problem with the way drug companies make their money. But anyway, that's not what we're talking about here. It says the plan would have linked the prices of Medicare Part B drugs, which are medications administered in a healthcare facility, such as chemotherapy drugs, to what countries like Canada, Germany, and the UK pay. The administration at the time estimated it would save, get this, it would save U.S. taxpayers more than $85 billion over 7 years. Taxpayers, you and I, not our government, not the drug companies, but taxpayers. Your money, my money. $85 billion over 7 years. You break it down, that's a whole hell of a lot of money per year. That's absolutely ridiculous that that kind of money can be saved. When you look at it that way, it pisses you off. I mean, it has to piss you off. I personally am not on any prescription drugs, but I don't know if it's because people call me like I'm an empath, or I don't know what the right words are, but if I see you cry, I'm gonna cry. If you're going through something, my emotion is gonna match your emotion. We're gonna work through these things together. So when I see that you could save, as taxpayers who are spending money on prescription drugs, you could save $85 billion over 7 years, I am immediately pissed off for the people who are spending their hard-earned money on ridiculously overpriced prescriptions just to stay healthy, just to stay alive, all these different things. Absolutely ridiculous. But it does say here, it says here, just so we have all the information, it's unclear if Trump's new plan will once again target only Medicare Part B drugs or include other medications covered under the program, which I'm guessing is Part D, because that's the prescription section, right? So is it just Part B, or is Part D included in this? One of the officials said the proposal hasn't been finalized and there could still be some tweaks and changes. The White House hasn't responded yet for any comments, but this is a huge thing. I've given myself hiccups because, once again, at the end of the day, the amount of money that we pay here in the United States of America for things is ridiculous compared to other countries. We've talked about our food supply here and why in the HE double hockey sticks do we have so many chemicals and all this other crap in our food when this country over here doesn't, and they're made by the exact same manufacturers. If you can make it clean over there, why aren't you making it clean over here? But it's because it all goes hand in hand. Food manufacturers, the drug manufacturers, they're working together. They're in bed together, scratching backs, rubbing feet, whatever, making sure that if you keep them sick, we'll keep them loaded up with drugs. Well, how about we get healthy with our food? We need less drugs. And the drugs we do need, we don't have to pay an arm and a leg for, sell a kidney for, sell our homes, get rid of our cars, take 5 jobs, those kind of things in order to afford said drugs, in order to keep just a livable life, right? Like a livable lifestyle. So that was the most random thing I know, but I saw the President Trump trying to do the drug things, and the fact that he tried in his first term and the drug company shot him down. It's like, it shows you where their priorities are. Priorities are very, very important. This is completely 1000% off topic, but we were driving home from brunch today, my husband, daughter, and I, and we were talking about some people that she knows, a family that she knows, and how the husband, father, did nothing for Mother's Day. And we were having the conversation that priorities are important, and priorities, whether you say the words out loud or not, the way you behave, the things you do or don't do, the way you carry yourself, all these different things, it shows where your priorities are. And these drug companies, they'll throw the commercials up on TV and they'll give you all these pamphlets and they'll do all these things. But at the end of the day, their priorities are not your health. Their priorities are their pockets. And they prove it time and time again with the cost of these drugs that they prescribe to you and tell you have to have in order to stay alive. Their priorities could easily change and become that of the people. The priorities are keeping you healthy, or the priorities are making it so you never need the drugs to begin with. But it's just not how it works. But either way, y'all, I've lost it. I'm sorry. It's just interesting to me how the greatest nation in the world, the greatest country in the world, has such a hard time with treating its people as more than just a dollar sign, right? I don't know how differently to like, not phrase that, but share that thought. But it's crazy to me that that's where we are as a country. But again, there's always ways to save money. There's always ways to do better, whatever. So make sure you guys are doing what is best for y'all when it comes to your health, when it comes to your relationships, when it comes to your jobs, all kinds of things. We have to prioritize us over everything else. And if that means that, you do more for yourself and less for others, sometimes that is what it is. If you do more for others, a little bit less for yourself, that is what it is. Depends on where your priorities are, right? But at the end of the day, having the best options for yourself when it comes to your relationships, your jobs, your mental health, your physical health, your Medicare, your other insurance, if you're not into Medicare yet, all these things are very, very important, right? So again, a random whatever live stream, only because I wanted to mention what President Trump is doing, because I know a lot of my audience here, you guys are in the age bracket of Medicare and Medicare Advantage. I know a lot of people have Medicare Advantage. Some people love it. Some people think Medicare Advantage is the best thing since sliced bread. And if it's working for you, you do you, boo. You know what I mean? Whatever works, works. But at the end of the day, a free phone call is a free phone call. It's 30 seconds of your time. If you want to ensure that what you have is correct, I told you guys before, I will call once a year to AT&T, where we have our phones through. I will call where we have our internet through also. When we had internet, I would call them once a year and be like, hey, I see that you guys have this special. I want that special. I know I'm already a customer, but because I am a customer, I should get some loyalty here, and I want whatever you're giving the new people. And I don't care if that sounds entitled. It sounds real stupid of me as a consumer not to try to get the best price possible, right? So the same thing goes for your health insurance. If you see that there is an option to get your health insurance for a little bit cheaper, or even if it costs you a couple dollars more, but now you get 10 times more than you were getting for $5 cheaper, it's still a really good idea, right? So I'm going to show it to you one more time, just so you guys know. I am partnered with them. This is, chapter Medicare is definitely worth calling. Free. I can't see my phone number because you guys are in the chat. 513-898-3528. Just give them a call. I told Kevin, my husband, I said, when you sign your Mother's Day card for your mom, just put the chapter number at the bottom. Because if you love your mama, you're going to remind her to call and make sure that she is set to go. Because the older you get, and nobody likes to mention it, the older you get, the more possibility there is of needing your insurance plans. So you want to make sure you have the insurance plans that will actually take care of you. Just because you've been with that insurance plan forever, or you've had that doctor forever, or you've done this forever, doesn't mean it's correct for you anymore. Just like you might be in a relationship for the longest time, but it turns out that relationship is shitty, doesn't mean you should stay in it just because you've been in it forever. If it's not the right one for you, ladies, bounce, right? Fellas, bounce, whatever. If you're in a job, just because it pays you, who gives a shit if that next job over there could pay you 10 times more and you'd like it way better? Go to that next job. Same thing goes with your insurance. Just because you've had this one forever does not mean it's the best option for you. There's only one way to find out. Call Chapter. They will let you know if it's your best option or not. They're not going to ask you for anything. You don't need to give them a credit card. None of that crap. It is all a completely free phone call. Just FYI, just to help you guys out. So that's that. My mother is coming over in just a little bit. My daughter should be done vacuuming the house. I love her so much for doing that. My husband should be done washing the dishes. But let me explain to you why he needed to wash dishes. Because last night, my daughter decided she wanted to make me cookies for today. So there's a whole lot of stuff to clean up. So he said he'd wash the dishes. She said she'd vacuum. I got cookies out of it, so I'm happy. I get salmon, mashed potatoes, and broccoli for dinner, so I'm excited. We went to Publix earlier after brunch to get stuff for her to make brownies so she can make my mom brownies. My mom mentioned brownies this morning, so she's going to make brownies. And then my neighbors are coming over also, and we're going to have a glass of wine. So I'm loving it. And then, you know, at nighttime, there might be a little TMI, bound chicken wow wow. It's fine, but it's Mother's Day. I get what I want. So there's that. But I hope the rest of y'all are having a fabulous day. Fellas, if there's any fellas in here and you have a woman around who has anything to do with raising a child, rearing a child, any of that, make sure you are telling her Happy Mother's Day, whether it's your mother, your wife, your daughter who has kids, any of these things. Make sure you say it, because even if you don't do anything, cards, all that stuff, the words do matter. A little acknowledgement goes a very, very, very long way for a lot of people. And I think that's about it. Thank you for letting me have the conversation with y'all. I appreciate it, especially because I know some people are like, oh my God, quit trying to sell me shit. I'm not selling you anything. I don't know if you realize that. I didn't sell you a damn thing. It's free. I'm just trying to help. That's all I do over here. I try to help. And if you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you. I'm still going to try to help. So that's all. Okay, love y'all. Have a fabulous rest of your Sunday. And I'll see you guys again on Monday. Goodbye. Love you. Adios. If I can figure out how to close this. There we go.